Hello everybody, Tanisha here coming to you guys with our February homeschool wrap up. So I usually try to get these up on the last day of the month, but we had such a super busy weekend with that extra day for the year, so we had a good time. So let's go ahead and jump right into what we did for the month of February. We've been continuing our Bible study lessons, and we have been doing Bible study guide for all ages. This is something that I reviewed, I want to say 2 years ago. And so we are finishing that up, and I found that I was like, oh, we never finished this. So we decided to go ahead and jump back into this because I want to make sure that my children were going back to the Bible stories. I realized my younger two didn't know them. My oldest did because I used to teach him Bible study at our old church, but my youngest two did not know the old school Bible stories. So we literally started in Genesis with creation and slowly worked our way up. So right now we are dealing with Joseph, and he has just been given permission. Here's some of the pages that they've completed. He has just been given permission to share his interpretation of Pharaoh's dreams. So that's what we are dealing with now. So here are some of the pages for the little ones and what they've been doing. So they've really been enjoying this. And it's been really fun. My oldest, he is doing the intermediate pages, but it's really more so of a review for him, a lot of mapping and things like that. Let's see if I can find an intermediate page. Yes, here's an intermediate page for my oldest. It's really just mapping and things like that. He would technically be on the next level up, but we're using what we have, and I want to make sure that he reviewed the stories too and that he knew. So his has a lot of questions and answers, making sure that he does a weekly prayer list and things like that. And then on the back of his, it has the similar pictures as well, but he doesn't do any of the coloring, obviously, because he's 12 years old. But still making sure that he understands what's going on, and it takes him all of 5 minutes to do it. And then he helps walk the little ones through their lesson and the coloring and the review. And I read the scripture. It's been a nice discussion. It's also gave us a basis for slavery because it was Black History Month. So we wanted to make sure that we learned some Black history things. So for Black History Month, I usually try to have a focus for the month as I go through and introduce. So I let my oldest pick this year, and he picked Jackie Robinson. So we actually studied Jackie Robinson for the whole month of February, in addition to going over slavery. And so what I did with introducing Black history as far as the slavery and civil rights and all that stuff to my youngest as I slowly walked them through the process. And again, we took the story of Joseph and how he was in turn put into slavery, and I used that to explain to them about slavery and what was going on back then as opposed to what happened with African Americans. And so we transitioned, we walked through that through the middle passage, and we took about a week and a half to do that. And then we went from the middle passage to the civil rights movement. And then from there, we continued on to discuss desegregation. And I brought in my grandfather's stories about dealing with that as an adult. And then we discussed their grandfather's stories about dealing with that as children, how they felt, as various age children dealing with desegregation. Bringing in their grandparents. So it was really good to hear the grandparents discuss how they felt about it then, how they have learned from it now, and I think that it gave them a real-time understanding. I will say that we happened to go to a baby event this weekend with their godparents' children, who are all grown, who I used to teach Bible study to. All of them are grown now. And they actually said that Bam Bam sat there and stood there with them and gave them a whole rundown of Black history and how, there was stuff that happened a long time ago, and it was really funny. It was interesting to hear how he interpreted it, but I was happy to know that he understood it, and they said that he gave them a nice rundown of Black history and what it was and what they did and what we learned and all that good stuff. So to me, that is a blessing, and I'm thankful for that. So here we have some of the artwork we did to finish up winter. Spring is coming. I declare it and decree it in the name of Jesus. I'm so ready to wear skirts, and I'm so ready to wear, light cardigans. And so this is a snowman that we did. Princess has done several of these. She loved doing this. First of all, she loves gluing cotton balls. So this is Princess, one of her snowman activities. Also during the month of January, we did a weather unit. So I'm going to kind of flip through some of the stuff that we did with the little ones. The main thing that I wanted to make sure is that our weather unit was something that we could do combined. So making sure, this is a packet that I put together, and I do have a video coming out on this, but just making sure that they understood what weather was, because my oldest was doing a weather unit. So it's something that we did together. So this is what the little ones did. They learned about all the different kinds of clouds, and I did this with my oldest before, so this was really fun, making the storm clouds and the cumulus and the cirrus and the stratus and all that good stuff. And then just making sure that they know how to draw pictures of what it is. And of course, I have a detailed video on this packet I put together and their weather unit, how to create a unit study, and I use this packet as an example, so that will be coming up really soon. Another fun thing we did this month was introducing social studies to my little ones, just making sure that we start learning, you know, what different things are and what social studies actually means. In the Lone Star State, we have to discuss citizenship. So that is basically social studies, how to be a good citizen. So we started off with a lesson from schoolhouse teachers, and it's kindergarten social studies. So what we did is we broke down, you know, their favorite things, their names, when their birthday is, had them draw pictures of themselves. It's been a really fun activity. They really enjoyed that. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, here are just some of the books that we read. So we started off with Sideways Stories from Wayside School, and I am reading them books that I read when I was younger, so it was really cool reading this to them. I actually let them listen to this, and they did not like the way that it was read because the guy did not use different voices. You know, a lot of times audiobooks are like theater, and he didn't use different voices. So I was like, I'll just read it myself because, you know, I'm very dramatic and I come with the voices. Okay, so I did that for my babies for the second book, which is what we just started at the end of February. Wayside School is Falling Down. I think the best part about this was my husband walking in and saying, oh my God, I remember that. I remember Eric and Eric. I remember, you know, BB Gun, you know, telling stories, saying she had a brother, and it just brought back so many memories. And you know, guys, you're never too old for a story. So we will be finishing up this one, and we will be definitely reading this one this month because somebody has requested it at the library. So we have no choice. We got to get it read, honey. So this is what we read, our family read aloud, out loud next. Okay. And then now this one right here was something that I jumped into and read last month. It is The Bomb. This is actually a Muslim romantic comedy. It was my first time reading anything tied to the Muslim culture, and I really liked, first of all, this was a clean romantic comedy book. No foul language, no sex scenes, nothing like that. It was very classy, and I definitely suggest it was a good read. It gave me a kind of a glimpse into their culture, especially the marriage rituals and how that continues over here in America. I also like the different perspectives that they had on people who they deem too traditional in their own community, and how they treat them, as well as how they treat people who they feel like don't have enough tradition. So this was a really good book for me to read. And then this right here, The Mother-in-Law, was another awesome book. This was a murder mystery. It did have, I believe, 1 or 2 curse words in it, but other than that, it was a really good book. And I like the dynamics of the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. This was a very, very, very good book. And this right here, we're getting ready to start a poetry unit. So I had my oldest to memorize this as a performance piece. Now, of course, he's going to memorize some other deep thought poetry, but I wanted him to have something fun in his repertoire that he could pull out at parties, and, you know, as he gets older, just kind of add his flavor to it. So this right here is a very good book. I think every single black male should read this book, listen to this book. This book is The Bomb, and my son has been doing good memorizing it. He's been working on his performance piece for it, and I cannot wait to see it when he is done. And this right here was something that I enjoyed reading to my children. I love the fact that these books now are showcasing natural hair, and just, you know, where were these books at when I was little, you know, because the perm was in back then. But I'm so grateful for books that are showcasing how we look now, how we're proud of how we look now. And this was a really, 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 really well written book. Very encouraging. So that's all we have for you guys for this month. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay on the lookout for some more information about what we read. I'm not sure if I'll do a separate video including some more books, but definitely stay tuned for the information for what we are doing with the unit study, for that video coming up, and a couple of other reviews. All right, don't forget to check out the blog to see what I'm talking about. If you enjoyed these homeschool wrap up, please give this video a thumbs up, guys, and share with your friends, share with them, the homeschooling family, so they can know what we're up to as well. And don't forget to check out www.TanishaKemp.com. Bye. Happy